For question number 7, we were asked to factor completely if possible. Okay, so looking at each term, I'm trying to see what can I divide out evenly. If I start with the numbers, what is the greatest common factor from 12, 18, and 30? So 6. And for the variables, well, I have an x in the first, second, and third. So I'm going to factor out an x, but how many x's? Since the smallest one is 2, in the middle term, I'm going to factor out x squared. So total, I'm going to factor out 6x squared. 6 goes into 12, 2, and x squared, well, since there are 5 of them and I want to take away 2, I'm going to be left with 3. Minus 6 goes into 18, 3. Again, 2 x's, and I'm not taking away any of the y, so the y to the third power. Plus 6 goes into 35, and since I have 4 x's and I'm taking away 2, I have x to the second power, and then I'm not doing anything with the y's in the z. So that is the factor number 7. Okay, so for number 8, we have a binomial, we have subtraction, and we have to the second power. So I'm going to see if I can use the difference of squares. The difference of squares is a squared minus b squared, and this will be equal to a plus b and a minus b. So my handwriting, sorry. So if I can figure out something to the second power will give me 9x squared. So if a is equal to 3x, and one easy way to do is to take the square root of 9x squared, and that gives me 3x, and b is equal to 13, and let's see, the square root of 169 gives me 13. So I can rewrite this as 3x squared minus 13 squared. And so since I can write this as a squared minus b squared, I can now write this as 3x plus b, 3x minus, not b, 3x plus 13. And 3x minus 13. Okay, question number 9. I have a binomial again, but this time I have it to the third power, and it's addition. So if I can do the sum of cubes, so the sum of cubes is a cubed plus b cubed. So that's going to be equal to a plus b. If you think about SOAP, SOAP says to keep the sign of the first binomial the same. That's what the S is for. And then we write a squared. The O is opposite, so if it was positive, it becomes negative, and a b. And then the last is always positive, so the sign is always positive, b squared. Now, if a is x and b is 4, then if I do 4 to the third power, that will give me 64. So now I can write this as x cubed plus 4 cubed, which is equal to x plus 4 times a squared, which is x squared, minus a times b, which will give me 4x, plus b squared, which is going to be 4 squared, which is 16. Question 10, 8x cubed minus 27. Okay, so I have third power, I have a binomial, and I have subtraction. So I want to see if I can do the difference of cubes. So the difference of cubes now, the formula, we have to the a to the third power minus b to the third power equals, now using SOAP again, so we keep the same sign, a minus b times a squared. The O in SOAP take the opposite. So if it was minus, it becomes positive, AB. And AP in SOAP stands for always positive, so positive B squared. Now, what is A? Well, if I take the cube root of 8x cubed, or if I think of a number to the third power that will give me 8x cubed, A will be 2x, and B, I'm looking for a number that if I multiply it to the third power, take it to the third power, will give me 27. So 3 to the third power will give me 27. So this can be written as 2x cubed minus 3 cubed. So now I can write this as 2x minus 3, same sign. 2x squared will give me 4x squared. Opposite sign. A times B will give me 6x. And always positive. B to the second power will give me 3 squared, which is 9. Okay, for this one I have a trinomial to the second power, and the first coefficient is not 1, so I can't just do product sum method. I'm going to do product sum and grouping. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to know 6 times negative 12, which is equal to negative 72. So I want two numbers that multiply to give me negative 72, but also give me the sum of 1, positive 1. So what two numbers multiply to give me negative 72, but add to give me positive 1? So you have to go through the factors of 72. So 1 and 72, the difference of 1 and 72 will not give me 1. 2 and 36 give me 72, but the difference will not give me 1. So you want two numbers that are close together. So factors of 72 that will give me a difference of 1 will be 8 and 9. And I need for one of them to be negative and one to be positive, but give me a positive 1. So if I make 8 negative, that will if I multiply them, that will give me negative 72. And if 9 is positive, I will get positive 1 when I add the two numbers together. Now, here is the third part. Because this is not the first number in front of y squared is not 1, I have to do this next step, which is grouping. So I'm going to rewrite 6y squared plus y minus 12 as 6y squared minus 8y plus 9y minus 12. Then I'm going to group them. And I want to factor out, in the first binomial, I want to factor out 2y. And that will give me 3y minus 4. And for the second one, I want to factor out a positive 3, which will give me 3y minus 4. Now, in this, I have a common term, 3y minus 4, 3y minus 4. So if I factor that out, I get 2y plus 3 times 3y minus 4.